through the eyes of a traveler. $450cc on a 110 kilogram frame. I can't help but pull that throttle back. Those bikers out there know exactly what I mean. So we're off to a place called Rohtas Qilla. I mean, the ride in itself is fantastic, but there needs to be an end destination that appeals to you guys, because we're traveling and you want to see things other than me riding all day long. So here goes. Welcome one and all. So finally the trip gets to the final destination, and this is Rohtas Qilla. This is one of many gates, and if I move the camera along, I can show you another gate just over here. Mostly intact, I might add, with Arabic scripture on the top, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, and two flowers with Allah written on them. And this is our steed. Thank you for getting us here, young fellow. Shall we move on? I think so. So, again, motorcycle stop. And this gate is called Sohail Gate, I believe. And it's still, again, one of those gates that's very much intact and quite beautiful. But from this vantage point, you can go to your left, which has the museum, which I believe is closed. Obviously, Corona would warrant that. And if you go to your right, bear with me, folks, bear with me, you'll see the splendor of Her Majesty's quarters. And His Majesty's quarters, which we'll see when we get there in a little while. So folks, this is something you probably wouldn't decipher just from looking at these steps. If I show you these steps, down we come, let me turn and follow through. The steps go right to the bottom of this well. I believe the well is now dry, but this well was created to hide the king that once was here, Sher Shah Suri, his army, his small army, a small battalion. So if anybody attacked, they would hide here in this well. It was cool, they had stock, they had food, and they would wait. And either through a night attack, a night skirmish, they would take their enemies and they would, well, you know the rest. When you get your enemies back in medieval times, what did you do? I daren't tell you, but you know what I mean. And that's what they did. And so this is a well. I could go all the way down, and what I will do is go a little further down so you can see the steps. But I've been here many times, and because it's a long journey, doing these steps on numerous occasions will only fatigue this old frame that I call body. So I will show you some of it, and then I will show you how it looks from the bottom up. So as you can see, it's been cut away from rock, and I think the brickwork there has been put in post, or some of the brickwork has, to support the rock. Anyway, there's two young fellows who have come from a local area just to explore, and they weren't visiting the well, and I said, have you seen it? And they said no. So I pointed them in this direction, and now they're reveling in the coolness. I'll ask them a question. Putter pani hai? They've just confirmed there is water at the bottom. I doubt if it's drinkable because I can see dirt from here. And then those are the steps going down, and let's twist and turn. And those are the steps going all the way to the top. I can't remember the depth of the well, but I think it was 300 feet. So the steps go all the way down to 300 feet, and now we're going back up again.
So I've got a new toy. It's a drone, and sometimes you're able to offer a vantage point, a view that you wouldn't otherwise because of this drone. It's interesting, it's voyeuristic, and it hopefully gives you a little more enjoyment when watching this video. So bear with me, I'll make many mistakes. I haven't really had any tutorials on operating a drone, but I'm trying, so bear with this very trying traveler.
So I'm out of the well, and I've come to the main feature, which is the, I don't know what you would call them, but they're turrets, and they used to house the Queen and the King. Most of the fortress has been lost, the internal fortress. The walls still exist, and they've tried to repair what they can as best they can. But there's a couple of places still intact, and we'll have a look at those, and then we'll try to get some drone footage to get as much as we possibly can through a bird's eye view, because on foot this is a big fort, and I'm fairly sure my frail body won't be able to walk the whole fort. However much I want to please you with the video and impress you, unfortunately I'm gonna fall short on that request if that's what you wish, but I think a bird's eye view might be slightly better. Okay, let's move on. So that's the main part. That's one. I think that was the chambers for the king, and just over that tree you might be able to see it. You might have to move a little. Well, the queen's chambers. You can see the little stupa, and this was their courtyard. Let's see what we can do with the drone. Magnificent gates. The key thing here is to appreciate that not much is kept intact in countries where heritage doesn't hold value. I think now it does. Most people understand that anything of heritage brings in tourists and therefore revenue. But prior to that, people would, graffiti on walls and break stones and take them with them, and not really give it much consideration in terms of leaving it for those that will come in generations to come, that is. But I think now people are getting wiser, and thankfully so.